want me so bad, do your knees hurt? Yeah, I'm counting paper guap, it might be mine, yeah. Choice, if you want one, then you coming with a paper. I ain't texting shawty back, see you later. Yeah, you catch me on that gas, I'm a racer, yeah. Lil' shawty, always out of molly, you ain't really got a talk, so like why you tryna stop me, yeah? Hey, nobody finna come and body me, I know what you want, but you ain't gonna come top me, what? Yeah, I gotta check, I'm finna cop Balenciagas, yeah, I'm living with no stress, I don't gotta carry choppers, purple Corvette, now I'm riding with your daughter, Gucci camo vest, quit applying, I'ma stop ya, yeah, I've been riding with a gang, I've been shut up with a thing, I've been rolling with the same shawty, hey, I ain't capping every lane, ain't nobody stop my game, shawty wanna make it rain with me. Yes, out of eyes tryna put me on a t-shirt, shorty want me so bad, do your knees hurt? Yeah, I'm counting paper guap, it might be mine, yeah. Choice, if you want one, then you coming with a paper. I ain't texting shawty back, see you later. Yeah, you catch me on that gas, I'm a racer, yeah. One for the money, two for the hoes. I got nobody, I'm on my own. Yeah, I'm on my own. No one to trust, so I'm fine all alone. I don't wanna say good riddance, but you let me down, wasn't with it. I don't even know what I'm living for. You held me down, couldn't pivot from the hell I made that I live in. I guess I just have to finish your plan of destruction to end what we love, to cut ourselves off and keep holding a grudge. I guess being rich was just never enough to save what we love or our death from above. One for the money, two for the hoes. I got nobody and I'm on my own. Yeah, I'm on my own. No one to trust, so I'm fine all alone. I'm so sick of this way of life. Love has failed, I can do no right. Pray to God that I'll see the light. If I say I'm fine, then it's all just lies. I feel the darkness around me, I know my demons surround me. Even the light that I held close was absent the moment they found me. Where do I run? Tell me, where do I turn to escape my head filled with trouble and hurt? The blood on my shoulders has soaked through my skin. I bang on the door, but they won't let me in. Don't want to drift away into the past, but I just can't get over all that I had, all that I lost when I found what I sought. Let myself go just to get what I've got. One for the money, two for the hoes. I got nobody and I'm on my own. Yeah, I'm on my own. No one to trust, so I'm fine all alone. I'm so sick of this way of life. Love has failed, I can do no right. Pray to God that I'll see the light. If I say I'm fine, then it's all just lies.
Yeah, shout out my boys, man, we paved the way. Yeah, rode with the punches like a crashing wave. To the haters that think they special, I can't see you from the higher level.
Does that close your eyes and fall asleep? I got you in a headlock. Visit you inside your dreams, you'll see me at the tip top. Nightmare to your team, now your album's about to flip flop. Saving all my green, I'm raining singles down like drip drop. Drip, drip, don't you ever give me lip. They try to put me in a tomb, I just pop right out the crib. I came in like Sonic Boom, meet your doom. Take the lick, a dozen rappers in a room, and all 12 are getting hit. See me robbing rappers like it's got them. He's too tough to stop him. These rappers on the rise, I guess it's up to me to drop them. This not bump it in your car. No, I don't shoot for the stars. I shoot for the highest bidder. My advance is rather large. Show the labels what it costs. Cut the check or get lost. You begin when I win. I'm 50 Cent mixed with Nas. All I made was a cause. All they gave was applause. Hit a grave on my enemies. Now welcome to my TED Talk.
Yeah, shout out my boys, man, we paved the way. Rode with the punches like a crashing wave. To the haters that think they special, I can't see you from the higher level. Higher level, higher level. These mountains that you climb kinda start to look like pebbles. Yeah, higher levels, we on higher levels. All these things that you flex ain't the things that make you special. Higher levels.
Big talk, you loud mouth. I take the beat and I chow down. Feast all up in the booth, the studio like a powwow. Just count down till I blow. Fired up like pyro. You act dumb to go viral, but you only ever the sideshow. Like, hey, you can never take me out. I keep taking different routes. Copycats keep trying to switch it, but they missing all the clout. Every day I deal with doubt. I just rap what I'm about. All the haters I defy, double size my account. I just count the profit, keep on making comments. We get it poppin', got your girl talking my favorite topic. She know I rock it, not your average Joe, my life exotic. And you're just jealous, you don't got it. Got me way up in the skyline.
I'm the storm that meets the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Good day and good evening. Welcome to RSC11 RSCast. My name is Just Jamie and I'll be one of your hosts this evening, but I am not alone. I am joined by the wonderful Kingsman's Gas and the amazing Buddha. How is it going, guys?
Amazing, beautiful. I mean, Kingsman, look at you, little smug smile over there. You know, cheating away. I'm doing great. Definitely haven't, woke up from a 16-hour sleep, but I'm good. I'm energetic. I'm ready for tonight, as always. Kingsman, how are you feeling?
I mean, lucky for some of us being able to sleep 16 hours a day, honestly. But I'm doing brilliant. I'm ready to recap it, and we're just heading into week 9, so we're coming to the end, as everyone will be pretty sad to hear, but we've still got to recap the brilliant last week.
We do indeed. So we've just had week 8 go by, and we're going to have a look at some of these bits and pieces just now. We've got the Glacies and Ignis League. We're going to start off with Prospect at the moment. Gents, who wants to go first?
As tradition, you gotta go to Glacies, the nice blue side. The players with the ice, representing the colour. I'll start us off with Jabatus. They go at 8-0. Double sweeps across the board, not dropping a single game. Obviously, on paper going into it, it's kind of expected to at least win both of them, but to sweep both of them is a statement. A 4-0 to Serene Taisho and onto Tartarus as well. So it's a big week for Jabatus. And we've got Fierce Echo as well, going 7-1, not getting the same as Jabatus, but a 4-0 onto Kindling. Again, pretty much an expected victory there, and also onto Obscurity 3-1. But Obscurity, I'm pretty sure they made every game a 1-goal difference game, so it's still a great performance from Obscurity. But Rogue as well, they went a really big week as well, going 6-2 onto 2 tougher opponents compared to Echo and Jabatus. They got a 3-1 onto Dwarves and a 3-1 onto Terra. Onto those teams that have been in that mid-pack, who are teams who are capable to take down the top dogs on their day. But for Rogue, it's 6-2. For Echo, it's 7-1. And for Jabatus, it's a double clean 8-0 week.
Brilliant. And come on, Kingsman. Tell us about the other side. Tell us all about Ignis.
Well, Ignis, you have team rising from the midfield. It's going to be Micah Faction. They get a 4-0 onto Trickery. Expected, they're not on the greatest form, Trickery, and they are near the bottom of the table. But they still do pull off a sweep and also get a 3-1 onto Alta. Alta were a team pushing up the table who also managed to get a draw with Limousine in the week. So Micah Faction showing their last bit of fuel towards the end. Caro going 6-2. They get a 3-1 onto Anubis, and they beat Limousine as well. 3-1. So Limousine, they've had 2 losses in the last 2 weeks. It's going to be their first losses of the season. So are we seeing them potentially slow down, and potentially a team catching up? But obviously, the game I talked about last week was Newborn Hot Mess or Newborn Cardinals actually first versus fourth to see if the pack would separate. And well, Newborn got a 3-1 onto Cardinals, a fairly nice result for them. And well, we'll see how that shifts the league table.
Very much. Good. I'm not going to turn around and say anything about Micah Faction. I am the captain of that team there, but very, very good games. Quite close as well. So, yeah, loving it. And just now, just going to have a look at the league standings for Glaciers. You can see some ups and downs there. You want to talk us through that, please, Buddha?
Of course, I've got you. Well, for the top 3, it's a 3-way tie. Obviously, the only thing setting their positions right now is that overall goal difference. Head-to-head will not be sorted until the end of league play. So it's a 3-way tie for Echo, Jabatus, and Rogue, just separated by goal difference. Parmis as well, they climb up into 4th. They actually went a 7-1 week, forgot to mention that. But the whole top 4, the only teams, they all won both of their series. Terra, they dropped down into 5th on 32 wins, so still in arm's reach for that 4th spot. Dwarfs go up into 6th onto 31. And Serene Tai Show, they'll stay in 7th on 28. Tartarus dropping down on a 24, probably not going to be making play-ins. Same for Obscurity and Kindling down in 9th and 10th on 20 and 16. But looking at this, you've got your teams that can't make play-ins, and even the playoffs. No one can make playoffs except from the top 3 that have already confirmed. So to see the top 3 spots already confirmed, obviously not seeding-wise, that's crazy.
Yeah, now we're going to move over. Kingsman, what's your take on this? You can see, obviously, Micah Faction. Yeah, we went up the table a wee bit there, but tell us about the rest.
Well, Newborn and Limousine, they were strong. They had their gap 43 and 42. Not quite as strong as Glacies, but the top 2 are there. Micah Faction, they have closed that gap. They have taken that final player-off spot. They are 5 games ahead of Cardinals. Cardinals really need to put in a shift if they are going to secure a playoff spot. But Micah Faction, very good week for them. It does move them well. And I'm sure Jamie will be sat there with a smile behind the camera. And well, Cardinals are tied with Hot Metal here, 33 apiece, both 5 off. Then Caro, 32, 6 behind. Still, it shows the gap between 4th and 6th. Those play-in seeds are very close. 1 game separates all of them. Then you have Ultra and Parasite. Parasite, I believe, went 6-2 this week, so they're on the rise up the table. And will be interesting to see what they can bring to the table. But Anubis, they are 6 behind. They are almost gone. They need a brilliant week, but they did get a sweep this week. So, I mean, anything could happen. And, well, Trickery, they are 17 behind. They would need to double their wins, which obviously, it's week 9. That is not going to happen. So, well, moving in to week 9. Very interesting in the mid-table.
Yeah, completely agree with you there. From my perspective, you know, you're looking at who's playing who as well, especially in my own, especially in the Ignis, because that's where I am. And you look at the fact that Micah Faction are also, we are playing Cardinals, you know, so we can put a dent in them, hopefully, or we might not, you know, if anything, we might actually help them climb up a little bit. But yeah, let's talk through the Glacies fixtures.
Well, for Glacies, there'll be no games today, but there's still some very big matchups to happen, especially for the standings. You can have Jabatus going up against Rogue, literally 2 teams who are tied for that first spot. They're going to be battling against each other. Most likely, the winner will take at least that 2nd spot guaranteed, depending on the other results. We've also got Parmis versus Terra. Parmis on a hot streak right now. Last 5 games, won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1. So Parmis going to be looking for something good there onto Terra. For Terra, they need to find something there to secure that play-in spot. So they need to find themselves back on form. Also got Kindling versus Obscurity. This is pretty much, it's just a scrap battle for that 10th spot. If Kindling can find their first victory, they have a chance to finish in 9th. But for Obscurity, I'm sure they're thinking, okay, we may have lost the season, but let's finish in 9th at least. And we've got Serene Show. They have some pretty big matchups here. Serene Show, 3 games off of play-ins, and they've got to play Rogue and Tartarus. Rogue being a top dog and Tartarus being a team just below them. So for Serene Show, it's going to be a tough week, but if they want play-ins, they've got to perform when it is most needed.
Nice. And now we go over at the Ignis side of the bracket. Obviously, I did just talk about Micah Faction, so come on, let's have it, Kingsman.
Well, you stole the game that I was going to pick out. Micah Faction Cardinals. Third versus fourth. Micah Faction win that. They pretty much knock out Cardinals from the playoffs. So I think that's got to be your biggest game by far. I mean, Cardinals' other game is also Limousine. So even if they do beat Micah Faction, they are up against it with Limousine. But Micah Faction also do have Newborn. So third and fourth have a very tough set of weeks. Micah Faction coming off some good form, 2 unbeaten in their last 5 at least. And while Cardinals, they are coming off 2 losses. So I'd favour Micah Faction in both. But one thing I will say, both those teams have hard games. Hot Metal, they play Caro tonight. I'll be looking out for that score. You might hear it a bit later on because that is 5th versus 6th. And well, Hot Metal, they also... Oh, I've lost it. They play Parasite. Parasite are on the wins and looking for 6th place, so anything could change there.
Yeah, it's quite a tough one, you know. It's quite a bite your tongue kind of moment, you know. This final week coming in, you know, playing for your playoff spot essentially. As you both have mentioned, you know, there's some teams that there's no hope for them, you know. They've just got to play and just try and finish as high as possible and then regain for next season. But now we're going to look over at the Week 8 results from Challenger. Now, Buddha, start with Glacies again for me, please.
Oh, I've got you. Well, we're going to start off with a 6-2 week from a team called Elves. Now, yeah, it's not Christmas time, but it is this team. They get a 4-0 start onto Neptunium, a good sweep there. Obviously, look, going into it, this is a win. They needed to win this, so it's an obvious win. But a 4-0, as always, is a way to start off, and 4-0s are always impressive. But they get a tough matchup onto Oracles, and they don't lose, but they don't win. But they get a respectable 2-2. It's a tough team, so a 2-2 you've got to take on the chin easily. But Elves, a 6-2 week, I believe the highest record for the conference, so that's still an outstanding performance. And then Oracles, despite their 2-2 onto Elves, they still get a 3-1 victory onto Orcus, which is a pretty big result, as you'll see in the standings in a bit. But Oracle's going 5-3. And finally, another team who went 5-3 as well is going to be Fearless Delta. They start their week 3-1 onto Redeem. Probably expected. It is Redeem. I'm pretty sure they've only won 1 series this season. But they got a 2-2 onto Serene Yamato. So I'd say that's an impressive result from the Delta side. But Serene, that might hold them down a little bit. Maybe not. But other than that, we only see 2 sweeps. Neptunium, they get their 4-0 onto Redeem. You know, they kind of been on both sides of the sweeps. They got swept and then gave out a sweep. So for Neptunium, they're just like, okay, you know, if we're going to get swept, let's at least, you know, have a little bit of fun of our own.
Thank you very much. And Kingsman, talk us through the results of Week 8 Challenger Ignis Division, please.
Well, I feel like I can't stop talking about them. Feather, they go 7-0 again. 7-1, I guess. Sorry, 7-0? 7-1. They get a 4-0 onto Gadejo and a 3-1 onto Parthenay. Parthenay, obviously, they were bottom of the table, so it could have been a sweep. But a sweep onto a mid-table Gadejo is a good result. But another big result I picked out was Apprentices versus Mischief. Well, Mischief go and sweep it with absolute pride and confidence. They also get a 3-1 onto Masai. So Mischief showing their strength and why they were that top 3 team and potentially challengers to Feather for the top of the table. But all round we see 3 sweeps, 3 ties, and only 4 3-1s. So I mean, very balanced here going into week 9. It'd be interesting to see how the table is shifted up.
Bother. Thank you very much. And yeah, we are about to have a little look at where these tables are standing at the moment. As you can see, Glacy's popping up on the screen. There has been some more changes there. A lot of rises from a few teams. And obviously, with folk going up, some come down. Can you talk us through that, please, Buddha?
Well, Yamato, they may have got a draw, but they're still holding first place. 42 wins to their team name, just mirroring that in the goal difference. Call that spectacular. But Elves, they go 6-2, but still won't go for that first spot. They'll be in second though with 39 wins, but it won't be safe. Oracles, they'll remain in third on 39 with them. So, you know, for the final week of league play, the top 3, it's anyone's for the first place. So they're all going to be hugely fighting for that. Orcus, they'll climb up into 4th on 36. Maybe looking to peek through for that top 3 spot. Eclipse, they'll go up into 5th with that 35 wins, alongside with Pardus, who will be on that benchmark spot for play-ins. wins, and it's going to be 35 wins. Fearless Delta, they'll drop into 7th on 33, and then this is where the gap starts to really break out. Neptunium in 8th on 24. Play-ins is gone for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Spark in 9th on 23. Redeem will remain there on 14. But the crazy thing is, any team from 7th all the way to 1st, it's all possible to take 1st place. Obviously, it's not easy. It's only 1 week. You'll be relying on a lot of results, but it's still a massive fight for all of those teams.
Thank you very much. And now, Kingsman, dropping your headset like you're dropping the ball. Can you do me a favour and talk us through the standings here? As you can see, every team has moved this week.
Yeah, we've got a full movement. Feather, well, they keep 1st. They keep that 94 goal difference. They keep 49 wins. 5 games above Mischief. And, well, 10 above Apprentices. Big gap for Mischief to chase. 44 wins. But they are secure of their playoff spot. So are Apprentices, pretty much. 39. The gap is 8. Theoretically, it's still possible for Cadejo. But that would mean they'd have to sweep and Apprentices would not drop a game. Then Cadejo 31, Crusaders 31. Both looking to finish in that highest play-in seed. Obviously, seeding matters massively going into playoffs. Then Primordial, they take the 6th spot off of Masai as they go 29 wins now. Then Masai, Nezuko Gang and Shrine 3 and 2 games behind. So very much a big fight for 6th place here. And then a team that are out of play-in contention, 11 behind, will be Heki's Parthenay. They have not made the cut this season. And well, I always like saying this every season when a team is out from play-ins. We have another team that could potentially cause damage to one of these play-in or playoff teams.
Well, thank you very much. So that was our challenger standings, results, and upcoming. And now we're going to move on to... Oh, no, not the upcoming. That's what we've got here about to show up. So talk us through the Glacies, what's upcoming, and who you think is going to do some damage here, Buddha?
Well, today you've got Orcus versus Spark. Orcus probably, they should be winning that result. And if Spark... That's actually a damage game for Spark themselves. If they can cause some upsets there, they could really damage Orcus' standings and really maybe even drop them out of play-ins potentially, depending on the results for the rest of the week. But the other matchups that I've picked out that are going to be really crucial for all of these teams, you've got a team that are looking to snipe into play-ins. You're going to have Fearless Delta. They play Pardus and Orcus. This is literally teams 4th to 7th, separated by 1 or 2 games, with Orcus just crawling away with 3 apart. So all of those games can be massive for each other to see which team is going to remain in the top 6 and which one of them will be dropping out or staying out if it's Delta. And then we've also got Eclipse. They've got 2 massive matchups as well. They'll be playing Oracles and Elves. These are your 2 teams who are tied 2nd. For Eclipse, obviously they're looking for results to maybe go into the top 3, but they can also do damage on the Oracles and Elves. As for those 2, it's whoever gets the better result will potentially take that 2nd spot and maybe snipe into 1st. But Serene Yamato, I mean, on paper, they've got a pretty easy week, so I think Serene Yamato are good to hold on for 1st.
Thank you very much. Now, Kingsman, let's talk us through the Ignis. What's the matches to watch this week coming up?
Well, I told you Cadejo and Apprentices, I told you their little thing about how Cadejo make playoffs. Funnily enough, they play each other. So that is a must-sweep series for Cadejo or Apprentices. But they do play earlier on in the week. You have 3 games tonight in Feather, Masai. Masai, they're looking to push into top 6. And Feather, well, we all know with their records, 12-3-1, they take no prisoners. Nezuko Gang, they have Parthenay. This is where Parthenay could really do damage. They could take some games off Nezuko and stop their climb into the top 6. But Mischief, they have a big game against Crusaders as well. Obviously, Mischief need a better result than Parthenay to close that gap. And while Crusaders, they want to be fighting for 4th place. So, I mean, in a very close mid-table, you have a lot of crucial results this week. And, well, it's RSC. So, who knows if they're going to go the right way for these teams or not.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So, that is the Week 9 upcoming games for the Challenger tier. Now, we're going to get on to the recap of Week 8 Rival. Now, I'm already seeing a couple of sweeps on both sides here. Can you talk us through them, please, Buddha, for the Glaciers, please?
Well. It's another 6-2 record to start things off. They did it in Challenger, and they've done it in Rival. It's going to be Norns. Now, the reason I picked this team first is because of who they played. They got a sweep onto Ember. That is a massive result. And then they continue that dominance with a 2-2 onto Nightfall. Going into this week, you're thinking, okay, a neutral week, you've got to be happy with that. You're against teams that are around that top kind of mark of the table. But no, they just go 6-2 and say, we're going to be one of those top dogs instead. But the next team we're going to talk about, they went 7-1. It's going to be Uranum. This is a team that have been down the bottom. They've been in the mud looking to push into play-ins, but a 7-1 week is going to be massive for them. They get a 4-0 sweep onto Serene Meiji and a 3-1 onto Onka. Onka recently just not been getting the performance, not been getting the results, and that's a team I'm going to pick out for kind of the negative side. They go 2-6. They lost 3-1 to Ember, and then as I mentioned, 3-1 onto Uranum. But Onka, sorry. They have lost all 5 series in the last 5. And you're going into week 9 for play-ins, and obviously I don't want to spoil the standings, but Onka, it's not a good performance. They're going to be looking to bounce back. But for Uranum and Norns, it's a great week for themselves. And yeah, that's all I've got for you.
No bother. I'm just going to quickly say here, now you were talking about how about that team there, but what about Resolve? They've just went 7-1. 7 losses, 1 win this week. Ouch! Well, that's gotta hurt.
That's nothing new. That's just Resolve.
Yeah. You're both in agreement on that one.
The fact that they got a game, okay, that's impressive. They took a game finally in a week, so I guess they got a game.
Okay. So we'll leave that at that, and we'll move over to Ignis. Come on, Kingsman, tell me some stuff.
I've talked about this team every single week. I've said how dominant they look. I've told you how good they look, and the avid watchers will already know who I'm talking about for Rival Ignis. Of course, it's going to be Disorder. They get a sweep onto Journeymen, a team that has been looking good so far. They got a double win in week 7. They were coming onto some good form, and they also swept Sanctum. But Disorder are going to be the stronger of the two, and they also get a draw with Mirage, another top team looking to fight and pick up games there. But also, Ash, they are finding some good form. A 3-1 onto Raiju, a team I believe that were mid towards the bottom, but it's still a good result. And same with Montbéliard, a 3-1. They were close towards the top 6 as well, but another sweep will be for Yoruba. They get a 4-0 onto Raiju. Raiju not having the greatest of weeks, some might say. They were looking potentially to push for top 6, and 1-7, that completely pushes it out of perspective.
Yeah, Raiju are essentially the Resolve of Ignis this week, aren't they? The exact same score, losing 7, gaining 1. But well, that's that. So we're going to look at some of these league standings, and obviously kind of have a look at how this is going. You can see it's already quite tight up here at the top of Glaciers. You got to talk me through that, please.
Erebos, there will be your team in first place. 43 wins for them, almost a full sweep ahead of Norns, who will climb into second after a good week on 40 wins. But closely behind him, is only 1 win behind, will be Ember, who will drop into that 3rd spot. But 1 game behind them is going to be Nightfall. Not having the best week, but they still remain in the top 4 half. 38 wins for them. But Onka dropping into 5th, 6 games behind. We finally see that cut off, the gap to kind of separate these standings. And the top 3, I'll say it's pretty much going to be over for Onka. Mathematically, it's not, but realistically, it's got to be. Mystics, they'll jump up into 6th though. 30 wins for them. They've kind of been on the comeback recently, last couple of weeks. This has been a team that have been kind of sniping around 7th or 8th all season, and they're finally in the top 6. So they're looking on good form. Uranum, note, with their 7-1 week, they'll go up on 29 wins. Fearless Charlie will be just behind them by a game on 28. Serene Meiji in 9th on 25. And Resolve, as always, they've been 10th, consistent all season long. You've got to give credit to them for being for the consistency part. 16 wins, but for all those teams, Uranum, Charlie, and Serene, they can all still make play-ins. Probably only one of them could snipe it because of the matchups that you'll see, but it's going to be tough.
Thank you very much. I just love how you're calling out Resolve there with their 16 wins and how they've been doing so well, holding that last position there since the start, you know. And obviously there's no chance for them to come back either. Kingsman, talk me through Ignis, and I can already see the top, well, let's say the top 4, but actually way closer than that there. Yeah, talk me through it.
Yeah, it's a lot closer. 39-39, Yoruba Disorder. I'm surprised Disorder haven't been taken top of the table yet. But week 9 is their week, is it? I believe it will be. They've come from 10th, remember, so second is a good feat. They are tied with Yoruba. Massive goal difference will keep them ahead. Arena Tribe, they've been falling slowly. The decline of third. They have a 2-game gap to Mirage now. 36, and then 2 games behind Sentinels and Ash. 4 games for them separates playoffs. All of those teams will be thinking they have a chance, and 5 even separates first place. Then in 7th you have Journeyman, and 8th Montbéliard. That's where the play-in hopes ends. Montbéliard 8th, 30 wins, a series behind. It's possible. Raiju though, they are 12 behind, obviously 1 and 7, and Sanctum 1 and 7. They will be out. Sanctum would need to double their win total just to be tied with 6th place. So definitely not happening.
No, well, I love how you're not calling out Sanctum as much as Buddha called out Resolve. Thank you very much. But yeah, that is actually really, really tight with all the games coming in, you know. This week it is all to play for. And as we look, we're about to see who's playing who. Especially with the Ignis side, you already know that every team, like it was like up to 7th place, needs to get like a really good win to make play-ins. But we're not going to talk about them just yet because we're going to get Buddha to talk about Glacies.
Yeah, before pick out what the fixes I think are really crucial to look at today, Uranum versus Erebos. It may be today, but still actually a big matchup, especially for Erebos. This is to kind of maintain that first spot. But for Uranum, this is kind of a must-win if they want a chance for players. If they lose that, well, they've got to play Norns, who look pretty good, look on form. So it's a big match there for today. But the games that I've picked out for Glacies in the rival tier, we've got Fearless Charlie versus Onka. A must-win for Charlie if they even want a chance at play-ins. And for Onka, a 5 losing streak. This is their chance to bounce back. We've also got Ember. They've got 2 massive games to play this week. They play Nightfall, who are 1 game behind them, and they'll also play Erebos, who have that 4-game lead on them in first place. So for Ember, this is a big week to kind of hold top 3 spot and maybe potentially push for a top 2 as well. And then the final big matchup that I picked out is going to be Mystics versus Serene Meiji. Obviously, Serene they're kind of out of play-ins. They're not. I mean, it's still possible, but it probably won't happen. But for Mystics, again, 6th place. They're only 1 game ahead of 7th, so this is a must-win again. Either way, there's so many crucial games here that can literally shake things up for play-ins and even for the playoff teams.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, come on, Kingsman. What matches are the ones to really watch here for Ignis?
Well, I talked about first and second being tied. Well, funnily enough, they'll play each other. Yoruba Disorder on the Saturday. That is a game to watch if the standings are still close. Obviously, Yoruba, they play Montbéliard, who I believe are in 8th place. They are still pushing play-ins even, so they need a big result there. Obviously, they haven't won in their last 4 Montbéliard, so it's going to be tough for them. And Disorder have Ash, a team that have won their last 3. So, I mean, big game for them there. And, well, at the 11th, if they're still tied, that is going to be a huge game for them. And I said Raiju could be the destroyer of worlds here. They've lost their last 4. They could take a game or 2 off Arena Tribe. And, well, that would really shake things up as Mirage, they have Ash and Journeyman in the same night, 6th and 7th. So, I mean, once again, it's every game's going to count in this last week.
Yeah, this is a tough last week for both sides, but obviously Ignis is a lot tougher because they're so much closer. It's one of these where you kind of want every game to be on stream because of just how close it's going to be. and like everyone's gonna be sitting there watching the results come in as much as they can. You know, it's just like one team sitting there being like, oh, I need this team to do X and this team to do Y kind of thing. So I'm actually really looking forward to see how this is going to play out. And well, yeah, that's kind of it for that. We're now going to move on to the Elite, and yeah, we're not going to leave this one behind. We're going to talk quite deeply about this one, as I'm going to get Kingsman to start me off with Glacies again, please.
Oh, Kingsman, you want to take it?
Me with Glacies? Oh, do I? I don't think I want to take it.
You know what? Yeah, on you go. Nah, Bitter, come on, take over for him. You know what he's like. You can't do that.
Either way, this is painful for me and Kingsman. Well, to start it off, Resident with an 8-0 week. They get a 4-0 sweep onto Blaze. I got to watch that series. Although it was a 4-0 sweep, the games were pretty close. I already know there was a couple of OTs from memory, but a pretty big game. But either way, getting the sweep is about who can close out those individual games. And they also get a 4-0 sweep onto Profits. So Resonant get that 8-0 sweep. But then we've got to go to the next one, which hurts me and Kingsman. Serena Zucchi, a 7-1 week. No 8-0. So at least Kingsman got a game, but I didn't.
Yeah.
They get a 3-1 onto Holger, and then a 4-0 onto Fearless Bravo. It's painful, I hate to say it, but Serena Zucchi, fair play and well played to them. And then finally, I picked up Profits, going 1-7. At least they took one game. They got lost 3-1 to Darkness. I believe that was the game Sato got subbed out, I'd assume. If I'm incorrect, then I'm incorrect. But just don't bench Sato. That's the start of your losing streak. And then they get swept by Resonant. So Profits 1-7. You know, these are the drawing merchants. You expect 2-2s, but that's not the case. But other results across the board. You see Saturnia, they got a 4-0 sweep onto Tigris. Thanatos get a 4-0 sweep as well. All of those teams who are looking for those results, they got their sweeps when they really needed it towards the end.
No, that's brilliant. I'm just looking at these results here. There is 5 sweeps and 5 3-1s there. You know, not a single draw. That's insane, actually. That kind of results coming across the board. You know, it almost looks like it was close enough that you know, 1-2 goal games kind of thing that you know, could have made that maybe 6 sweeps, 7 sweeps, whatever, or even sweeps entirely across the board. But obviously not. Now, Kingsman, please now do Ignis for me, since you couldn't do Glacies.
Oh, I couldn't do Glacies, but somehow I'm gonna get through Ignis. Well, Vanguards, they go 6-2, and Anarchy, they go 7-1. Anarchy get a big win, 3-1 onto Megumin Cult. That is a huge result considering where both teams were in the table, and they get a sweep onto Scorch. Well, 7-1, that will do bits for them at the top of the table. Considering Vanguards did also go 6-2, they swept Zulu, and they got a tie with Bladesmiths. Bladesmiths, they are the up-and-coming contenders of this playoff spot, so they also, that 3-1 onto Temple will do massive results for them. But, well, Scorch and Zulu, they do go 2-6. They played each other after getting swept to 2-6. Both teams were looking towards 6th and 7th, so I wonder how this not-so-good week has put them.
Well, thank you very much. Now we'll get over and look at the league standings just now in a second as well. Now, what I'm kind of expecting is, especially with the Glacies, the way everything looked there's going to be a lot of teams rising and a lot of teams dropping here. Can you talk me through that, please, Buddha?
Well, Resident, they'll be in first. The only team who have playoffs confirmed. Even if they go 0-8, they can, the lowest they can finish is third. So Resident, good job to them. They'll hold that first place spot for now, 43 wins. Fearless Bravo will be in second on 41, a couple behind. And a few games behind will be Thanatos. They'll be in third place on 38 wins. But a full series behind will be Holger on 34. And this is where it gets really close. Blaze, they'll be one game behind in 5th, and then Profits dropping down to 6th on 33 wins, tied there with Blaze. Just to think that Profits could not be in play-ins, it sounds kind of crazy, but Saturnia, they're in 7th, but this is a team that they will be the damage team. This will be the team that will break the play-in hopes for the others. 31 wins for them, 27 for Serena Zucchi. That 7-1 week has made play-ins possible, but it's very, very unlikely unless things really go their way and they have to perform. But Darkness, they'll be in 9th out of play-ins no matter what on 22. And then Tigris down in 10th. Remember Kingsman? Remember my Dark Horse team? So Tigris are my Dark Horse team. So you know what? They 8-0 and yeah, we somehow sneaked them in play-ins, right? Yeah, we'll just do that.
Yeah. Promise?
It's possible. It's possible.
It's possible. Can you say that with some conviction for me?
I don't know if I could do that.
Wow.
Fair enough. Okay. Now, Kingsman, talk me through the Ignis. As you can see, there's been a few changes there as well.
Few changes. Vanguard's still a series lead ahead of Anarchy. Anarchy, they do close the gap by 1, but they do also take a 2-game gap onto Megamin Colt. Big result, big win for them. That will do favours for them. Bladesmith, though, they rise into that 4th place spot, 3 games behind. But the only team to have secured playoffs again is 1st place. Vanguard, they have done it. Even if they go 0-8, the lowest they can finish is 4th, because Bladesmith, the max they can end is 43. So top 3 is secured there. Then 4th, Bladesmith, 35. The new signings has worked very well for them as they sit there, and it's got Anju, 32. They're tied with Zulu on 32 as well. I think Zulu didn't have the greatest week, but they still hold 6th place. And then a series behind, you have Embry. But obviously, it's still very possible for them. It's definitely mathematically possible. And well, 6 games behind, you have Temple and Scorch. They'll be looking for wins, so causing damage to those play-in and playoff teams. And well, Deception, they're out of it. I think they might have been out of it last week as well, but I do not know. But they're out of it for sure now. A total of 13 games behind. And well, let's see which teams have the best matchups then.
So here we are. We're going to talk. You know what? Let's do this a little bit backwards. You know, Kingsman, start with the Ignis matchups for me.
Well, we have 3rd versus 4th in Megumin versus Bladesmith. A must-win series for both teams here. But tonight you have Scorch versus Temple. Only one of them can make play-ins based on this tonight. A 2-2 would put them a whole series behind. And well, both of them are going to desperately want to win that one. Temple also have Vanguards. Vanguards are going to want to push forward. They also have Deception. So on paper, I'm going to put Vanguards comfortably in that 1st place spot. But considering what Serene did to me and Buddha last week, everything is possible. And well, you never know, because Anarchy, they have Anju and Embry, 2 teams looking to secure play-ins. And well, they're going to want to cause some damage to get that 1st place spot. So I mean, Vanguards, they kind of can't drop games, and Anarchy, they've got to win every single game they can.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. And now, Buddha, let's talk about the Glacies games that are coming up.
Well, today, Saturnia versus Serene. Some of the chat already know, but Saturnia did just win it 3-1 onto Serene. That fully confirms Serene cannot make play-ins. They cannot make play-ins at all. Even if they 4-0, they can't make it. So that's good to hear from me after beating me in Kingsman. But Saturnia, that keeps their hopes alive. They are currently in... They'll be 4th. They're 4th right now. But obviously, they've had a series in hand. But anyway, let's get into the other series that we've got coming up. We've got Fearless Bravo up against Resonant. Potentially could literally be the series for 1st place, depending on other results. We'll also have Thanatos. They'll play up against Holdra. A full series sets them apart from each other. So for Holdra, a 4-0 sweep here would be massive for them if they want to go into that playoffs position. But Holdra also played Profits, and with Profits' recent form, hey, Kingsman, a win's looking your way, I'm just saying. But you never know. Profits may bounce back because Blaze, they'll be playing Profits as well. Another big table fight. These 2 teams are literally tied with each other in that 5th and 6th spot. So a potential winner there could set things apart. And obviously my final one that I picked up was Saturnia and Serene, but that has been played. And that's a big W for Saturnia to keep their run alive. And I was going to say how one of them would have to end their run. And well, it has happened.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, yeah, we just hear that's one teams' chances, playoffs, play-ins, just gone right there before it feels like before the week's even really started. Just got to be a bit disheartening for them. And fingers crossed that at least they end on a little bit of a high. But now we're moving up a tier again. This time we are going over to week 8 results from the master tier here. Now I am going to start with Glacies again. Go ahead, Vida.
Well. There's a team called Abyss. They may have been in the Abyss in recent form, but this week they came out to dominate. A 7-1 week, 4-0 sweep onto Iovi, and then followed up with a 3-1 victory onto Leo. Couldn't quite close out the double sweep, but still a 7-1, you cannot complain. And for them, that is crucial, as we'll see the standings in a little bit. But Draugr, they get a 6-2 week as well. This is a great bounce back after a tough week that they had recently. A 4-0 sweep onto Inferno, a massive result there. And they also got a 2-2 onto Hades. I think this is probably a draw that they might accept. Also, I didn't get to see the series. Maybe it was a win that should have been taken. But either way, getting a draw onto a team that you're fighting in those playoff spots is massive. And that leads me to talk about Hades. They went 2-6. They played 2 top 4 teams and they crumbled. They drew to Draugr and then got swept by Messias. So for Hades, it's definitely not a week they're looking for. Definitely not one that they want. But, maybe it's a week to learn something new. But either way, there's still a lot of sweeps as well. So we've got Inferno at 4-0 onto Iovi. Then we've got the Draugr one, the Abyss. And Serene got a 4-0 as well onto Leo.
Yeah, that's another Glacies bracket that's got 5 sweeps in it as well. So there's been a fair amount of them happening in last week, and I can already see there's a couple over the Ignis bracket as well. You want to talk us through them, please, Kingsman?
Well, Fenrir, they go 6-2. They get a sweep onto Heck. Obviously, Heck sat at the bottom of the table, but they're still getting 3-1s onto Illusion. So, I mean, is it really an easy game? Not at all. They also get a draw onto Haven. Haven were towards the top of the table, but looking for that top 3, but I've said every week how close Ignis has been. So the table shifts dramatically, but RSC Legion, they get a 3-1 onto Gladiators, a team that comes out of beating Phoenix. I don't think anyone saw that one coming, a 2-2 onto Severance. I mean, with the way the Glacies Ignis? Master Ignis, right? I've said it every single week. And I cannot predict a single game, how a single game is going to play out. All the teams are so balanced in that tier. I do not know how it's good up, but teams getting 6-2 and 5-3 weeks are really benefiting.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And just looking at here, you said Heck bottom of the table there as well, and they got 4-0'd, was it, by Fenrir? And
Yeah.
they also take Illusion 3-1, which is not bad for a bottom of the table. But that's all right. We are going to move on. Now, we're just going to have a look at the master standings for week 8 over the Glacies side. Come on then, Bida, let's have it.
Well, you want it, you've got it. Up in first is going to be Draugr. They're going to be there with 43 wins to their team's name. Only 1 win ahead though. Messias will be in second on 42, so anything can change here. But Hades going 2-6, that will knock them kind of a little bit apart from top 2. They'll be third with 39 wins, but they've got that 5-game lead onto fourth, Inferno. Inferno not having the best week that they're probably looking for, but 34 wins to their name. Tied there with Abyss, who will climb and rise into that spot. But the 3-way tie, Radiant will join in for that one in 6th with the 34 wins. But in 7th will be Fearless Alpha, 1 win behind on 33. And then this is where the gap comes out. All of these 3 teams cannot make play-ins no matter what. Serene Nara on 24, Iovi on 24, and a Leo on 13. For those 3 teams, they're just looking to maybe cause upsets, cause some damage, and maybe just fight to not come 10th. Well, actually, to be honest, they can't become 10th. Leo is secured that place.
Thank you very much. And we're looking over at the master standings. Week 8 for Ignis now. Kingsman, take it away, please.
Well, Phoenix, they've been top all season by a series, and they're still top by a series. Dogon, though, they will move up into second place, 38 wins. And Infinity and RSC Legion, they are creeping for those spots, but 5th to 8th, all on 31, all within a series of top 3. I mean, imagine being 8th place and start thinking, we can still get 3rd here with an 8-0 week. That is, I don't think any other team in the tier will be thinking that. But Illusion, Severance, Haven, and Gladiators will all be thinking of a play-in spot would be nice. But I imagine if we went top 3, it would shake the scenes for sure. And well, that's what they're doing. And a series behind is Fenrir. Still possible, but very far behind. And heck, well, 11 games behind will sort their run out for good. But they're still taking 3-1s onto Illusion and teams like that. So, I mean, this is a team I really want to see cause some damage in Week 9.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. We're going to move on now. Let's go see who's playing who. Now, we will start with the Glacies. Buddha, take it away from me, please, pal.
Well. As you saw in the standings, play-ins was pretty close. So there's a lot of big matchups. But to start off for kind of a playoff secured spot, we're going to have Hades go up against Inferno. For Hades, this is pretty much a must-win to kind of confirm that playoff spot. But for Inferno, they're going to be looking to take a win here to maybe have hopes of a playoff spot, depending if Hades can not get a result in the second series. But we've also got Radiant. They have 2 massive matchups. They're sitting in 6th, only by 1 game, and they play Hades and Messiah. They've literally got to play 2 top table teams. So for Radiant, it's going to be a very tough week, but it is possible. Anything can happen. And in Inferno, again, they'll play Abyss. They're playing a team literally tied in 4th with them. So for Inferno, they've got a huge week to maybe just solidify play-ins, or at least maybe go for that playoff spot. But another matchup, it's nothing crucial for play-ins or playoffs, but Serene Nara will go up against IOV, both on the same wins in 8th place spot. So it's just a little fight, just a little friendly, like, okay, you can have 8th, we'll have 9th, or something like that. And then for Leo, obviously I mentioned they've secured 10th place, but they could play damage. They could take maybe a game or 2 off teams and really disrupt those playoffs and play-ins. They play Fearless Alpha and Messiahs. If they can take any games, then maybe they can... Yep, I know, I said it again. Maybe they can ruin play-in and playoff hopes.
Thank you very much. I just want to mention, we had a Game 4 11-1, by the way. This week, Inferno versus Iovi. I just seen it was mentioned by one of the players in chat. 11-1 in Game 4. That's disheartening. That's Inferno showing that they're on fire. Yeah, that's my one bad pun. And now, come on, let's talk about Ignis, please, Kingsman.
Yeah, well, tonight you have Illusion, Severance. Both teams tied on 31. Massive game for both. But then tomorrow you have Phoenix. They play Rias Legion. Rias Legion looking to push towards the top. And, well, Phoenix, they might be that roadblock as they also play Infinity. So they play 3rd and 4th. So potential Phoenix can give one of those 5th to 8th teams a shot at the top of the table. And, well, Rias Legion, they also play Haven. I think Haven are set around that mid-table area. So it'll be very interesting. But I think the main one will be that scoreline tonight. Illusion, Severance. So it'll really set the tone for which team wants play-ins more.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Fingers crossed that we can get some of these results from tonight's games. Maybe someone in chat can, if they see any results or if they've been playing themselves, they can give us a quick little report. And now, here we are. We're at the Premier tier now. So it's at the very top. Very tough.
These games look stacked. There's a lot of results to look at.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? Alright, chat.
Imagine the players of the week.
Yes,
we're gonna be.
Look at that. I mean, there's 0-0s across the board. Do you want to? First of all, here, right? Yeah. Buddha, talk to me about these 0-0s in the Glacies, please.
Well, pretty much. If you got a 0-0, it means they've not even played their game yet. Is it even scheduled? I don't even know. Some teams probably haven't even scheduled the game. But 0-0 means they've still got to play. But we'll talk about the one result that happened. Luna Esports versus Panthera Esports. For Panthera here, this is kind of going into this on paper. You kind of expected them to take the win here. But it was a 2-2. So from Luna, it's very good from them. Also, I'm not going to spoil the standings, but you'll see what will happen. For Luna, getting a 2-2 onto Panthera, that is a good result for them.
Yeah. Just to remind everyone, these games have not yet been played, because we've had RLCS qualifiers and other bits and pieces like that happening. So there is there's still time for them to play him. Whether or not it will happen is another story. But can you talk us through the game from Ignis, please, Kingsman?
Wow. The one series I talked about last week, Bola I get the 3-1 onto Wicked Sailors, and obviously the other matchups were so good that we don't even know the results of them. I think AW3 still catching up on Vaiju's games, so they could have played one from a previous week and we don't know about it. Ox and Oblivion having some roster problems at the minute, so that's probably why he's been playing. And Centurion's Fearless. Buddha needs to have a talk with Larson and sort out the scheduling there. But yeah, the 3-1 will do massive things for Boller at the top of the table.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And obviously, because some of these games haven't been played, there is going to be a couple of little changes. Talk us through them and talk about the rest of the standings for Premier. As you can see, Premier is in week 6 at the moment. It is not in week 8, so everyone knows. And yeah, take it away, Buddha.
Well, in first will be Panthera Esports. With their draw, it will put them in first, but as you can see by the games played, they've played that extra series compared to these other teams, so they've got the high ground now. But Sanctuary, they could easily take that first spot. They'll be in second now on 13 wins with a hefty goal difference here, despite playing only one series a week. Shaman Esports, they'll be in that third place spot with 13 as well, maybe looking to snipe that first spot alongside with Sanctuary. But Solus, they'll be in fourth place with 10 wins in a 3-way tie with Resistance and Luna Esports. And also you see Luna Esports with a series in hand. If they lost that series, then you'd be starting to think, okay, they might fall into that 8th spot because Team Serene and Kronos, they're not too far behind. Both sides will be on 7 wins. And if you look at it, everyone's got a series in hand on Luna Esports and Panthera Esports. So we could see those two teams shift down.
It can indeed. Like just looking at it, it is very, very close. A lot of tied positions there. And we move across for the Premier standings. Week 6 for Ignis. Let's go, Kingsman.
Well, Bola, they extend their lead at the top. 20 wins. Wicked Sailors, 15. But they do have games in hand. Nami Brigade on 13. Obviously, they've had RSCast. Centurions have only played 12 and so have AW3. So they have... God, let me do the maths a minute. 3 series, that's it, to play between them. Oblivion, well, they're pretty much behind now. They've played 8 more games and they're near the bottom. And Fearless and Ox, well, they've been slacking at the bottom, below a 20% win rate. But we're still yet to see how their catch-up 2 series play out.
Yeah, looking at this, you got like Centurions and AW3. You know, they're sitting there. Both have only played 12, but they're still ahead of Fearless, Oblivion, and Ox there. So that is something. Hopefully, we can see more people, you know, rise up. As we're gonna see the week 7. Who's playing who? As you can see, some of these matches haven't been scheduled. These teams are playing RLCS qualifiers. They do have other tournaments that are competing in as well. So talk us through the Sanctuary Panthera, please, Buddha.
Well, this is actually, the one that we've got scheduled is actually a huge one for the standings. This is first versus second. Obviously, Panthera with that series in hand. So if Sanctuary can find a series win here, they'll be looking to hold on to that first spot and maybe gatekeep Panthera out for Shaman Esports. As we see Shaman, they will play Kronos. That's a team who have been down at the bottom. Only found 1 series win all season. So for Shaman, they could maybe find something to probably snipe top 2, depending on Panthera's result. And we'll see Solus eventually play against Team Serene as well. For Solus and Serene, for Serene, I'd say this is probably a must-win if they want to keep playoff hopes alive. But for Solus, they've been on the worst recent form, losing 2 series out of the last 3. So this would be a good one for them to come back. But finally, Luna Esports versus Resistance. Both of these teams are tied on 10 wins, but Resistance have a series in hand. So if Resistance can at least find a draw here, they should be looking good moving forward with their 3 draws in their last 3 matchups.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And now you can see Baller, iCarry, and Ox Gaming are going against each other in Ignis. That is one that has been scheduled. You want to talk us about that, and hopefully if these other games are scheduled as well, what you expect to see from that, please, Kingsman?
Yeah, well, Bola, I'm pretty sure are still unbeaten this season against the Nox Gaming team. Well, I sat near the bottom, so I'm expecting Bola to do very well with this, unless Nox Gaming have something in their locker they haven't shown yet. But Wicked Sailors AW3, from what I've seen from Pesky's streams, have been on very good form at the minute. I think we'll give Wicked Sailors a very good game. And while Nami Brigade Centurions, Nami Brigade, we've seen a very good showing of them recently. And well, Centurions, I don't think we've seen the best of yet. And Oblivion obviously having roster issues against Fearless. I think that game could take forever to be scheduled at this rate. But that's all we have left.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. So that was the results and the upcoming. But now we're going to look over the franchise standings for Week 8. And you can see a lot of teams are dropping down at the moment. So talk us through this. Then Kingsman, you talk us through this bit.
Well, I'll swap it up with Buddha and I'll take the bottom part. 20th, you have Sanctuary 129, a whole series behind Luna Esports, who are on 134. System of Solaris, they move down the table. They are on 140, but very close between Ox 142, Panthera, who are 143, Illusory 145, and Ignite also 145. Team Serene, though, moving their way up 146. Shadow Esports moving up 149. And Chroma Surge making a name for themselves 152 and 11th. And well, I wonder what the top of the table shows for us.
There we go. But talk us through the top of the table, please.
Well, in 10th is going to be Symbiotes. They climb up into the top half, 168 wins alongside a Shaman Esports, who will be in 9th with the same amount. But 5 ahead, 173 is going to be Fort Templar. They drop down in 8th though, and dropping down into 7th will be Waifu Fan Club on 174 for themselves. And then Visionary, they'll climb up into 6th with 178. Then in 5th, we're going to have Forge dropping down, but on 180 with a 3-way tie. Fearless Esports go up into 4th. Might of Hades go up into 3rd. All 3 franchises on the same wins. And that's going to be some chaos for the last week of league play to see who can set out apart. But talk about set out apart, 2 new franchises coming in, tied in 1st place. Green Phoenix and Valkyrie Knights, 187 wins. We're going to see a debut franchise maybe take that 1st spot, at least for top 2 for sure. But they're going to have a huge fight for week 9 league play.
Yeah, it is very tight at the top of the table there, especially 2 newcomers. Well done to them for brand new coming in and sitting at the top is quite insane actually, because like they talk about bubble teams, they have their little pop-offs and things like that, and it seems like they've just been popping off right throughout the season so far. So well done to them.
Yeah,
there we go.
It's beautiful to see.
It is. It's very, very good to see. Very, very good to see. And we've seen some amazing matchups that are coming. We've seen some brilliant results that have just happened for individual teams and things like that. But we're going to go past that. We're going to do clip of the week happening. So we got the clip of the week. We got the fail of the week as well happening too. And I'm quite excited to see this because I've seen some of these goals. I've seen some of these submissions as well. Some of them are quite insane as well. If we talk about past winners of clip of the weeks, you know, you look at my teammate with Prospect Division with that insane double tap off the corner. Not something you would expect to see happening in Prospect Division, and some of the gameplay from all levels and some of these clips are just astounding. So I think shall we just run it, guys, and we'll just have a watch, and then we'll have a little talk. Chat, you will be encouraged to vote. Make sure you do that as well. We want to know who you think wins clip of the week, and we'll get this running. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna say it just now. First of all, chat, make sure you're voting. There is a poll there. It will be at the top of the chat right now. Make sure you cast your vote. But I want to hear your thoughts on that clip by Harvey. You were very loud while we were sitting back watching that. Come on, talk me through it.
Harvey's was the psycho assist, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I mean, nice. You got the psycho cushy. That's cool. But the goal, it bounced. I'm just saying. It doesn't get my vote, but either way, well played. You know, you did it with a Merc, fair enough. But it's not for me. It's not for my liking.
All right. Okay. Right. Kingsman, was there anyone there that really took it for you?
Well, first of all, I am gonna just tell chat. Remember that you did see a save in there. Yes, it is clip of the week. Remember, not goal of the week.
Yes.
So I mean, it's good to see a save in clip of the week. It does bring us some variety, but in my eyes, as good as the double tap from Hyper was and the saves from Evelios, Harvey just brings that new spice to what in Master Series you don't see players, especially in league games, go in for psycho passes into the midfield. So that's got to be the favourite by far for me.
You know what? Yes, the goal, it does bounce, as Buddha says, but I kind of got to agree. Harvey, off his own backboard, cycles it back to mid. I mean, it's a brilliant assist. That's it. You know, it's not about the goal. It's about the assist. He does get that perfect redirect. He reads it perfectly. Again, in the mark. Biggest car in the game as well. And, yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. And you know what? Let's run it back. Have another quick look, but while we're getting all these results from the poll.
Let me start with you. Even asking you just one night. I don't know about your life, but tell me 'cause we still have time. We can still look at you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you every morning. I think of you every morning. We can still look at you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you every morning. There's nobody else. There's nobody else. There's nobody else.
All right, yo. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a split decision here, but as we can say, yeah, Kingsman's already clapping. I'll give it a little clap as well. There we go. The winner is Harvey. That is insane. He does stop that touch when he's the third man, and he manages to get that psycho up to the first man, who is able to get a goal regardless of it bouncing. It's amazing play from him. So yeah, well played. Now, I think we had a little bit of a... When it came to the fail of the week, we were speaking just before this, right? So, fail of the week, we had an issue that one clip was sent to us as fail of the week three times today. And I actually think that was the only one that we can actually show. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, you're saying you're right. So let's have a little look at what is our fail of the week just now.
Pee pee poo poo. How we doing, Jordan Peachy? Peachy, you need to.
Yeah. So we got sent that three times. Like two people from the actual game, and someone that was sitting there spectating as well. Yeah, that's cold. That's unfortunate. That is really bad. But it is what it is. It's fail of the week. I mean, you've had better fail of the weeks, Kingsman, haven't you?
Oh, always. When it's a Kingsman fail of the week, you know it is absolutely immaculate. I'm pretty sure at this rate, with the two laughs we've had from Pesky, he could have had it twice as well. So be fortunate that the team are luckily not going to point out as much as they do my stream graphics. But you know what? It's fine. This happens at the highest draftable tier master as well, and that shows everyone that these fails happen as well.
Yeah, it really, really does. But unfortunately, no one else has won it twice yet. So anyway, we are now going. Yeah, well done. You know, we are going to move on to our weekly awards there. So players of the week, right? And let's run through the tiers. So as before, we do start off with players of the week for prospect. And yeah, let's have a little look here.
I'll take us away for prospect. We got JPEG in the MVP department, 517.75 points a game. The only player to get above 500. So hey, fair credit to me. Kings, what are you laughing at, huh? Are you like what?
One of the names.
Huh?
One of the names. One of the names,
okay.
bro. Continue.
Okay. Your finisher is going to be Dean with 1.88 goals per game farming that week. But your striker is going to be that strange soul with 66.67% shooting accuracy, taking in that medal there. But your playmaker for your assist is going to be, I'm going to say Lucci. We're going Lucci. I'm confident. 1.5 assists per game. And oh, hey, my sub got 1.5. Let's go. But anyway, your savior is going to be Splendinator. Beautiful name from the free agent department, 2.75 saves per game, the magical number.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Well, I mean, look at that. Yeah, like look at that shooting accuracy there by that strange soul, 66.67%. That's insane. And you know what, Kingsman, you take this challenger one. You take this one.
Well, I'll just clear things up with Buddha. I was laughing at the name of the second striker, Beat Bing Bong Bot. Honestly, I have never heard a name so creative in my life. But we're going to go over to Challenger. Ahmed Essay, he will be your MVP, 562 points. He'll also be your finisher, 1.75 goals per game. But Warp, he has not missed a single shot this week. He has 100% shooting accuracy. And well, the GM himself, Stingray, tied with 3 others, will be your playmaker for this week. And well, your savior's going to be Hexos from the Might of Hades franchise. 2.57, not quite the special 2.75, and well, that's it for Challenger.
Classic.
Brilliant.
Well, rival. Resist Jaguar, your MVP, popping off 522.30 points per game. Makes a reappearance for your finisher, 2 goals per game. Beautiful stats there from Jaguar. But your striker is going to be Shiny. Nice and shiny there with the gold medal. 60% shooting accuracy. They may be bottom in the standings, but at least they've got a medal there to show for something. But your playmaker is going to be Aiko with 1.75 assists per game. She'll make her way there for the assist department. But for your savior, it's going to be Kaf from the free agents representing 2.5 saves per game. All credit and fair play for everyone who made it onto this.
There we go. All right, now looking at the elite here. It's got to be some high scoring here. Come on, tell me about it, Kingsman.
Well, Dakai will be your MVP and finisher. 562 points per game. Oh my god, it's Dakai. It's a Dakai mastermind. Oh, he's not going to do it all though. Your finisher is going to be Dakai with 2 goals per game. I see Con there 1.75. Maybe if he'd scored more of those open nets, he'd have got the finisher, but not to be. As your striker is going to be Dakai as well. He takes 3 out of 5. Your playmaker is going to be Terry with 1.75 assists per game. And your savior is going to be Crayon from the Blaze roster, tied with Papusa on 2.5 saves per game.
Yeah, no, that's it for the elite. You know, Dakai coming across 3. You know, they get all 5. I was expecting money to fall out my PC there. You know, but here we're going in a master. Talk me through it, quick, Buddha. Shadow going to appear again? No.
Of course. I mean, a 7-1 week. Taylor was the player to pop off for them. 603 points per game. Gets 2.25 goals per game. Doesn't get the strike, unfortunately. That will be Clarkey from the Severance roster with 60% shooting accuracy. But Taylor will reappear for the playmaker. 1.5 assists per game. Actually tied there with Lucifer. So Taylor did take that tiebreaker there. But your savior is going to be Bryn from the Severance roster. 3.75 saves per game. Only 2 rosters being that first place medal across the board.
Yeah, Taylor really being the standout player there for that week. You know, top 3 and first and 3, and then second and 1. Now, Kingsman, talk about the Premier. Let's go.
We all know how stacked the Prem games this week, so the Snake could take them all. He's not going to, though. He's your MVP with 543.5 points per game. Finisher also 1.25. And oh my god, he has taken 3. Do not worry. A Puppy is going to take your striker of 66% shooting accuracy. I mean, 33% gets third place. I mean, that shows how little games were played this week. Ols is going to get your playmaker, and Savior 3.5 is going to be the Snake again. 4 of them held by Lunar Esports. So, I mean, we also almost saw dogs all across the board.
There we go. So we're going to now move over to Team of the Week. And let's see who we got here. There we go. Team of the Week for week number 8. We were starting with Matt's Gray from Baller Eye Carry. Got a Mills from Abyss as well. Frank the Goat from Resonant. Resist Jaguar from Norns. Rocks from Mischief. And Melty Crispy from Palmists. That's quite a stacked team there, guys.
Yeah, stacked indeed. I mean, they're all coming from teams that had a really good pop-off week, you know, hence why it's Team of the Week. It's got to be from the teams that really performed, and especially the player from each side who really stood out when it was all mattered and needed, especially when it gets to that crucial part, week 8. You know, that's the week where for some teams, they need a win. They need a sweep. They needed something. And these were your players to really step out and put out that performance for week number 8.
Yeah, indeed. Is there any individual here for Team of the Week that you really think properly popped off for the individual teams, Kingsman?
Well, I know Frank. I watched his game on stream, and well, he put in a shift, carrying Serenity like normal. I'm kidding. But Resist Jag, I know he had a hell of a week. We had Mac who had some PC problems, so that's the only one I can talk about primarily positively, because I know we had to play an FA sub last minute, and he got 600 points per game in one of them. So I mean, he in my eyes definitely deserved these on there.
Brilliant. There we go. So that is our Team of the Week number 8. Now, you know, we've seen that amazing clip of the week. We heard about the Inferno versus Iovi game 4, 11-1. And it is the last week coming up. It is all to play for a very select few teams in each tier. You know, in Prospect, it seems that the top 3, your playoffs and your play-ins positions, are already kind of taken. And we talk about how Prospects, Challenger, Rival, Master, Premier, and things like that. How some of them, I think. I can't even remember what it was. What one tier had the Ignis side go all the way down to like 7th, is still able to make it into play-ins and things like that. So it is everything to play for at the moment, guys. Is there any teams that you are hoping can push quite high?
Well, I think me and Kingsman are probably rooting for our own teams as GM and AGM, 100%.
Yeah.
But
minus the bias, right? Minus the bias. Okay. Take that
franchise
out.
standings.
I think for rival, I think it would be good to see Disorder just rise to that first place spot. Like to see them go first, that would be a huge statement. The roster change and the consistency going into it, and seeing how they move that momentum into playoffs. I think seeing Disorder take first will be something massive. Other than that, I think for Elite, Elite might be wrapped up. You know, obviously, without bias, it's wrapped up. There's nothing else to say. Obviously, there's things I want to say, but that's bias. But other than that, I think...
Okay. Bring your bias into it now.
Okay, now, Glacies has a very tight standings. Literally, 7th can make play-ins. We've got, I think 4th to 7th, all literally 1 game, 2 games apart.
Yeah, tied now.
Bravo...
Saturnia. They'll be tied.
Yep, that's what I mean. Saturnia are now 4th with their win. Obviously, you've got Bravo and Resident. They've got to play each other. Literally a fight for first place, depending on other results. If we choke again, then, well, it looks like we're taking 2nd, not 1st. But other than that, I think the other one to pick out is Master. Master have a really good fight for top 3 in Glacies. That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, indeed. No bother. Is there any final thoughts from you guys?
Well, as always, it's going to be a pleasure. Honestly, one thing I was thinking, I want to see as many of these games on stream this week as possible. It's the biggest week going into this. I've not seen this many teams been in contention for play-ins and playoffs in forever. So if you're out there and you're thinking about streaming your series, do it. Honestly, I want to see as many of these games streamed as possible. I'll be sat in a lot of them watching. So... do stream it for us, make some entertainment, and, well, bring us the hype that RSC is all about.
Yeah, indeed. But do you have any final thoughts for us?
I mean, I can only vouch what Kingsman said. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get every single important matchup on the mainstream. So, you know, don't feel disheartened if you don't make it to the mainstream. Get a player. If a player can't stream it, you know, there is that rule. You can bring a caster or someone into the lobby to stream the game for you. So, you know, if you want to show that potential, show that play-in run or playoff run, just to back up to what Kingsman said, make sure you get every opportunity you can to get on a stream, to, you know, to show the people your talent, your run, and just have fun with it as well. But obviously win first. You know, that's what you want to do, of course.
Also, let me just point out to all the prospects that are watching the recent change in the play-in. It has been moved from the 14th to now the Monday. It will start immediately after RSCast next week. So any of you that didn't know or have forgotten to check the notices, just be aware that it is Monday next week that it starts, not on the Tuesday.
Yeah, that was something I was just about to mention as well myself. So thank you very much for doing that. Yes, prospect play-ins are now Monday the 13th. Due to Valentine's Day, you know, like as important as the play-ins and playoffs are to us, we still remain a community league and don't expect people to get their contract with their missus terminated for choosing Rocket League over a romantic meal or fight night in. There we go. That is words from the announcements. There we go. So yes, yeah, that is that. And guys, thank you very much. I just want a quick shout out to the sponsors of RSC. We have Sanctuary, Shaman, Badass, Dead Dinosaur, Synthesized Design, Gamers Apparel, and HyperX. Don't forget, you can get your own RSC merch from the store. You'll see it popping up in chat. You can find it in the Discord. Also, if you're not in the Discord, you'll see the socials. They do pop up in chat now and then. Make sure you get yourself in so you can be involved in part of the community. You're not forced to compete, but you can still interact and talk to us. And yeah, you can just be a fan and show your support. Yeah, that's going to be all from me. I've been Just Jamie. This has been my first time hosting RSCast, and it's been a pleasure to have been joined by Kingsman Gas and Buddha, who are long-time veterans of the series indeed. So guys, thank you very much for having me, and I hope you have a good one.
should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down, down. Clear sky. When you want to get off that darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down, down. Clear sky.
Tell me why these niggas on my dick. They say you hate me, but they pumping on my shit. Gotta get a bag, being broke don't make no sense. Yeah, I got them knots, that's why I won't bit a lip. Yeah, head knock out on my rock star shit. Whoa, just stop out, you ain't real like this. Head knock out on my rock star shit. Just stop, oh, you ain't real like this. Got my name all up in their mouth, yeah, they like to talk. See me all up in their history, cause they like to stalk. You can't step up billboard, you can't ride this ain't a toy. You sit up there, act the part, see right through, I can't ignore. Whoa, 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 shit get low, low, low. Niggas moving weird, I can't trust no more. I ain't moving fit, I just float over hoes. Switching up like gears just to ride on this road. Tell me why these niggas on my dick. They say you hate me, but they pumping on my shit. Gotta get a bag, being broke don't make no sense. Yeah, I got them knots, that's why I won't bit a lip. Yeah, head knock out on my rock star shit. Whoa, just stop out, you ain't real like this. Head knock out on my rock star shit. Just stop, oh, you ain't real like this.
Tell me why these bitches on my dick and these niggas hate. I still would hit a lick, but got them knots like a